some shooting technique. If you're all the way new, first off, with a light bow. There's no prestige in shooting a heavy bow. You'll just mess up your body. Shoulders, joints, fingers, back, everything. So start with a lighter bow and get your technique in place, and then move to higher poundage if you need to. There's no prestige in going in for a high poundage bow, especially if you're shooting shorter distances. Right. Your basic stance can vary depending on the bow you're shooting and the purpose. Target shooting, target on target basis. 3D shooting out in the woods, and hunting. Naturally, the latter two, the 3D shooting and the hunting, means that you won't always be able to stand completely plane and completely perpendicular to the target. Nevertheless, your basic stance could either be completely perpendicular to the target, or you can open it up a bit depending on your shooting style. I like a slightly open shooting stance. This means that you actually give way to a slight bit of draw length. Draw length being from the bottom of the grip to where the string is pulled. Draw length. Now you can see that the draw length can vary quite a lot. Look at the tip from here to here, depending on my stance. The key thing is pulling your shoulder, the back of the shoulder rather than the front. A lot of people, when they start to shoot, want to pull in this way, using the breast muscles and the shoulder. Don't do that if you can. This means you put a huge amount of strain on the wrong muscle groups. Moving your entire shoulder and changing up your back is much better. So from here, up, perpendicular. You need to have a straight line from the tip to your elbow. So when you release, the arm comes back. The reason for this is that if you go down, you pull the arrow down, and it does this all the way to the target, not hitting where you want it to. I prefer to have the bow arm, this slightly bent, again, depending on the poundage of bow, but let's keep this below 50 pounds. Just a bit bent, so that when I release, push the bow forward, this helps the collapse so I don't drop the bow too much. Again, dropping the bow will affect the arrow's path to the target. So, bending it slight, pulling up, pushing it forward when I release. Trying to keep as much of a straight line between arrow tip and my elbow as I possibly can, because this helps keep a plane trajectory to the target. A little word of advice when it comes to gripping the bow. I don't advise squeezing it. I use these two fingers and have a loose grip on it. The bow will not jump out of your hand. It will not jump out of your hand if you hold it like this. It will not jump out of your hand if you do it like this either. But when you do this, you tend to twist it upon release. Again, affecting the arrow's trajectory. We don't want that. So just holding with the light pinch grip and the knuckles at an angle, not perpendicular, but a slight angle. Leaving the bow to rest in your palm as such. When it comes to hooking the grip, don't go for the tips. I'll just take off my glove. if you grip out here, beyond the first groove, you twist the string. Now, when you release, the string will twist back. And this can, if the knot is just slightly too tight, the arrow can weave off this way. So get it into the groove, first finger groove, and about 60% pressure on this finger, and the other one's helping it. This is the same whether you use three split or 3 under. Right? First finger groove. Now, when you pull the string, don't curl it. Don't curl it. Set your fingers, then pull back. If you do this, you risk pulling the arrow off the shelf as you pull. So hook them, pull straight back. And once again, the bow hand, pinch grip is my advice. Right, getting into the stance. Pick a stance and stick to it. If you're going to make a change, do it one change at a time. Take a stance, start shooting. Bow up, slightly bend, so you pull here and push here. Push, pull, right? Pull back, release. Don't, when you release the bow, don't stretch your fingers. Just relax them if you can. Try to get the fingers to just relax. That way they will, see, the hand goes back. If you do this, you risk plucking the string, pulling it sideways as you release. This is bad because, once again, every twist you do affects the arrow when you shoot. So sometimes just try without putting an arrow on the bow, holding it up, practicing this stance. The center of your body should be right down the center of your legs, having a good center of gravity. So don't lean back. It just means you have to pull further to just get an arrow. So play. Right. So stay here. Try to think about you standing over this line, pulling the arrow up to your face. If you lean back, you have to pull the arrow further. Also, if you lean your head back, it's a natural instinct to move your head out of the way, the arrow, because you don't want the string of the arrow to touch your nose. It won't. Try to stay here. Pull the arrow up. Don't lean your head back. And don't pull your body back. Right? If you have to shoot up or down, you tilt at the hips. You don't just move the bow up and down. If you go up, you have a shorter draw length. If you go down, you have a longer. This affects the arrow speed and where you're going to hit. Right? So if you just go down here, the arrow will shoot higher than where you're actually aiming, and shorter if you do this. Simply because of the change in arrow speed. So if you have to change elevation, do it at the hips. That way your draw length is always the same. Right? So when you pull back, pull your elbow back, putting tension in your shoulders. Pull back, not in, but back. So when you release, your arm comes back as well. Right? You'll probably need to watch this back quite a few times. Work on it, watch it while you work at it, and make your adjustments. It takes time to become a good archer, a good, consistent, accurate archer. It's not done over a week or a month. takes years. Even if you practice every day, I don't recommend practicing every day. You'll strain your body, you'll strain your nerves. So take your time, work a little bit, 2-3 times a week. Don't overdo it, and be patient. This will not come overnight, in a month, or in 6 months. You will also reach a point where you make small adjustments that'll throw off your accuracy for a couple of weeks. Then you tune in, you get accurate again. But keep in mind that every time you do something different to your shooting cycle, your technique, your accuracy will drop. But it will come back up again once you get used to this new change. Keep that in mind and keep practicing. Right? Tell me what you think in the comments below. See you.